We okay there, Andrew? All right, Bruce?
Ready? Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this meeting of the Deep Creek Watershed Board of Zoning Appeals. At this time, we ask you to please turn off all cellular devices for the duration of the meeting. We have a quorum present, so I will call the meeting to order at this time. We are your Deep Creek Watershed Board of Zoning Appeals. We are appointed by your county commissioners and serve at their pleasure. I am your board chairman, Bruce Swift. To my left is board member Bill Ingram, Bob Hoffman, and Steve Nagy down there on the end. The purpose of this board is to provide competent interpretation and full equitable application of the Deep Creek Watershed zoning ordinance. This is a quasi-judicial proceeding. All board decisions are based on the provisions outlined in the Deep Creek Watershed zoning code. The code allows for up to 10 days for this board to render its decision if necessary, but we will make every reasonable effort to make a decision today. Decisions by this board may be appealed to the Circuit Court of Garrett County for a period of 30 days from the date of the board's decision. Successful applicants that elect to move forward with their project before that 30-day time period expires do so at their own risk. Gentlemen, in your packet this week, you should have got a copy of the minutes. If there is no revisions or corrections, I'll ask for a motion to accept as written.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Types of cases that are seen by this board, there's two types of cases. We have one of each case today. Variances are an appeal from a decision by the zoning administrator to vary or adapt the strict application of any of the requirements of this chapter. Variances are handed out sparingly, and applicants should have a clear understanding of the ordinance when presenting their case. The board will only hear testimony that is pertinent to this ordinance. We also have special exceptions. Special exceptions are reserved for certain pre-approved uses throughout the zoning district. These uses are already allowed by the code in these districts and cannot be denied by the board except in rare instances where, in the board's opinion, sufficient testimony has been presented to establish that the use as presented is worse in the location than anywhere else in that zoning district. The board can, however, through the special exception process, impose reasonable additional conditions as it sees fit on this case. Today, our first case is a special exception. It's a little different from a usual special exception, and Chad Fike from the zoning office is going to get up and actually tell us about it and how it's going to change the proceeding today.
Yeah, Chad Fike from the Planning Permits Office. We have a special exception for a solar energy generating facility. We've had a few of those recently. We process them as we typically do, but there have been recent developments with the state of Maryland that are going to change how we operate with those. So beginning July 1st, this became effective. This is Governor Moore signed this into law. This is the Renewable Energy Certainty Act. I'm going to read a few parts of that. Part of the purpose of this bill is it prohibits a local jurisdiction from adopting certain laws and regulations or denying certain site development plans under certain circumstances, requires a local government to expedite the review and approval of certain site development plans under certain circumstances. And some of the specific things that we're held to, it says a local jurisdiction may not adopt zoning laws or other laws or regulations that prohibit the construction or operation of solar energy generating stations. We cannot deny site development plans for solar energy generating stations, and we have to expedite the review of these plans, and we have to process the site development plan application as a permitted use. So this is a new bill that we've been trying to figure out all the implications to. We just met with council a little bit ago, and the board does not have any ability to deny this case. They don't really have ability to put conditions or anything else. So we're going to proceed with the meeting, but I just wanted to let everybody know we cannot stop this. This is state law. County commissioners, Board of Appeals don't have any ability to overrule this act.
So what this means, folks, is the state's taken the power away from the counties to regulate this type of use in any way, and basically we don't have the jurisdiction to hear the case, so we're not going to hear the case today. We have some people here from the solar company. I will leave it up to you folks. If you want to present your case for the few people that are here, you're more than welcome to, but our board is not going to rule on your case today.
And just to clarify, we would proceed with that as a permitted use through our office, as any other permitted use. So as long as it complies with those regulations, we would proceed in that manner.
If I hear any testimony from you, I'm gonna have to take rebuttal testimony as well, or I'm gonna have to take any in opposition, so if you wanna speak, that's fine, but just, I'm gonna let, if I let you speak, I'm gonna let, if there is any opposition, speak as well, so,
Okay,
okay?
yeah, thank you for that.
Okay,
I'm willing to speak and I accept that you have to, we'll hear other rebuttal as well.
state your name and, address for the record.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is John Shields. I'm with Pivot Energy. Our address is 6865 Deer Path Road in Elkers, Maryland, Suite 330, 21075.
Typical guy would swear you in, but I'm not even gonna swear you in since we're not taking your testimony, we're just hearing your commentary. So please proceed.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Chad, for that description, explanation of where we are in the process. Just thought I would take the opportunity, again, thank you for kind of clarifying that what we're presenting today is more informational, but worth it to take this opportunity with the people gathered who are, I'm assuming some folks here in the audience that are interested in the project, and give an opportunity to take some questions, share a little bit about the project. With me this afternoon is Randall Harvey, the property owner. We also have our legal counsel, and our group is our site civil engineer. They're here this afternoon as well. So questions can come in from couple different directions, and we'll try to bring the best person up here to give the best answer that we're able to at this time. Just quickly, I'm with Pivot Energy. Pivot is a community solar developer and an independent power storage provider. This particular project has solar panels only. There's no energy storage proposed for this project. It's a 2 megawatt project sitting on Mr. Harvey's, Mr. Randall, sorry, 25 acre, I think, parcel. 23, thank you. And we're taking up about, I think, 14 acres or so with our project, our 2 megawatt project. We chose this parcel because of its proximity to the power grid. We take the energy produced from this system and we do offload it right onto the existing power grid. It's owned and operated by Potomac Edison. This site has good proximity to the 3-phase power that we need. It has, the terrain is favorable. It does have some slopes, but nothing inconsistent with our design. And it has minimal to no shading impacts that we sometimes see from buildings or trees that might be in the vicinity. So we were able to come to terms with the landowner and bring this project to you this afternoon. That is pretty well thought out and pretty well designed. I believe the process is maybe at this stage without anything further needed here. We'll go to and work with, I believe, Chad and his department in the planning and building department and take this project through all the site plan criteria that we can get into erosion control and stormwater management and access and things of that nature. And we did have a community meeting a couple of weeks ago. I think inadvertently it did overlap with the county fair, so I think we may have had minimal. We had a couple of folks come out, but we didn't have a lot of folks join us for that. That was another opportunity that we put out there to try to gauge questions and where we're able to modify our project to make it suit the environment and suit the community better. We're willing to consider changes like that and things like that that do come from the public. So that's really all I have, just as way of an introduction to the project. Again, we have some folks here, or I can come back up, but if you wanted to, that's really all I have for remarks.
All right, I appreciate it. Anybody have any questions they'd like to, you'll have to step up here for me, please. Again, this is not a hearing, we're just giving you some information. So
Okay.
name and address for the record, please.
So Deborah Hutton, 1893 Paradise Point Road.
Thank you.
Just a question, maybe for you, or Chad, maybe for you. Did it say in there that there would have to be considerations for the environment around the solar installation, whether it's installing trees or
Yes.
what? Okay.
So in our Deep Creek Watershed ordinance, we have certain standards for setbacks, for landscaping, for decommissioning. Those things are mirrored in the state law. some protections. But it won't be the duty of this board to hear that. It'll be permit and planning office. That will still come through us, and we will still work with them to make sure those things are in place and that they comply with this. The main purpose of my announcement was that the board no longer has the ability to deny it or impose other conditions. It's not in their
I have a
purview
couple
anymore.
more questions, if that's okay. So another question I have is, what happens when, I think it's around 20 years, these panels start to degrade, and they're made with heavy metals, and it's, my understanding, because I went to the Kitzmiller solar farm, which is 1,100 acres, which they just cut down 400 acres of trees to install, and they're still doing it, which is about 60,000 trees, including owl habitat. That's neither here nor there. What I'm kind of concerned about is, they said that it's very expensive to remove and recycle these panels, and so a lot of times they just are left to generate less and less and less electricity and continue to degrade into the soil. So I have a concern about, not today, but the legacy of this for the county.
This act has decommissioning requirements, so
Okay.
we'll comply with that.
Okay.
Ma'am, I suggest you get a copy of that law from the state and read it and direct any of your questions to them, because we have no, they've set all the standards now. They've taken it away from us, so.
Yeah, it's a shame. And just my last question, and this might be for you, didn't they give exceptions to the Eastern Shore?
I don't know, I have no knowledge of that.
They
I'm
did.
not aware of that.
Anybody else would like to speak? Okay, thank you for coming. We'll move on to the second case. Our second case is a variance VR 845, an application submitted by Hugh Humble for a variance to allow the construction of a new single-family resident to within 1 foot 3 inches of the rear property line. The property is located at 964 Rock Lodge Road, McHenry, Maryland 21541, tax map 50, parcel 348, grid 20, in zone Lake Residential 1. Bruce, do we have any letters in favor or opposed to this?
We have a letter in favor and a letter opposed.
Let her rip.
I shall read these away. Barbara Grunbaum, next door neighbor. I'm writing in support of the zoning variance for 845 submitted by Hugh Humble for the property located at 964 Rock Lodge Road. My house is located at 952 Rock Lodge Road, and I am Mr. Humble's immediate next door neighbor to the west. In my view, the plans as they have been submitted show minimal impact on my property. In fact, being able to build closer to the lake allows the house to be staggered in relation to mine, and the two homes will not overlap. Furthermore, I appreciate that the new building will continue to be one main level and a basement. I've spoken to Mr. Humble, who shared with me some additional plans for his property. These include locating the AC unit on the east side, so to be further away from my house, and locating a new type A dock farther away from mine. Both of these plans minimize the new home's impact on my property, which are also things I appreciate. I'm grateful that Mr. Humble has taken care to plan a new home that takes into account the surrounding residents. Barbara Grunbaum. The letter of opposition comes from Elizabeth Klein, and she is the owner possibly on the other side, 1050 Rock Lodge Road. I would like to go on record as opposing the variance for 964 Rock Lodge Road at Deep Creek Lake. Mr. Humble, who is requesting the variance, has a history of buying fully wooded properties on Rock Lodge Road, ripping down every tree, inadvertently killing trees on neighboring properties, and covering every square inch with concrete, building, or grass. He is intent on destroying the mountain look of the properties, and I am opposed to granting him even more space to do so. Thank you for your chance to comment on this request.
Thanks, Bruce. Hugh, you gonna give a testimony for us? Stand up here and
Afternoon, gentlemen.
raise your right hand for me. State your name and address for the record.
Hugh Humboldt, 1941 Deep Creek Drive, McHenry, Maryland, 21541.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony that you're about to present to the Deep Creek Watershed Board of Zoning Appeals is the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Well, I guess I'll first comment on the opposition. There's some folks by the name of Pushkar Stadium in West Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Milam Pushkar, his only child, Joanna Pushkar, wanted to build a house, 5-bedroom house with a 5-car garage on Rock Lodge Road. There was 200+ lakefront, and we did have to cut some trees, but we didn't cut any trees that we didn't need to cut. And every tree we cut was approved. There were some dead trees on the buffer strip that they had opposition that we had to get rid of because they were ready to fall in the house.
You don't need to explain that to us. You just tell us about this one. You don't need to explain that to you.
So that's the issue with the opposition there. And I did have a reputation of a tree cutter. I don't know what that meant. And maybe I'll just elaborate on that a little bit. The past lake management, there was a crew in there, they were all women that I had to deal with. And every time I come in, I'd have to request to get a tree cut that interfered with the property. It was on the buffer strip that was gonna fall into the property or something of this nature. So she kept giving me a hard time, but always approved it to come out, and then it would just laugh. So I was at a trade show in Atlanta, Georgia for Bear Traders. And there was a bronze tree with copper limbs. Oh, it was about 3 foot tall, okay? And it had natural rock base holding it, so I took it in and I says, hey, here's a tree that's not indigenous to the lake, and I said, you never have to cut it, you never have to worry about the trees. So I gave it to her, okay? So when she's ready to leave, she says, I'm taking my tree. And what was it, Matthews? She says, oh no, you're not taking that tree, that's the state's property, so it's still on the building over there, management. Okay, my request here, I guess, the first lady probably reiterated that I tried to get a house that wasn't 50 foot tall, that fit the surroundings, that was in, I guess, what was demand for construction and the type of homes that's built today. And of course, the lot is irregular, and there are several issues that we had to take into consideration. First of all, the driveway is on the adjacent property. And I built that house there in 1988, and it was an acre-plus lot. And the only way to get in was over the entrance to the property that I've submitted today in this application. And somehow, since I built that house, the lot line to the left, or I guess would be to the west side, was adjusted to the lady who made the comment, reducing the lot size to its very narrow and only a 30-foot entrance at the road. So that is a hardship getting into the property, getting around to the property. And I don't know, did you receive the plat from Richard Skipper showing where the rocks and the driveway is located?
I don't see rocks on the one I have, but I have this plat.
Yes, he didn't indicate. I only have this copy if you want to pass it around.
I'm gonna pull this up on the big screen for you all in a minute, I think. I am not gonna do that. Unfortunately, the big one didn't make it in there. You all have the full-size one on your desk, right?
Correct.
There you go, all right.
I'm sorry I didn't bring a copy of that. I thought that he forwarded that one. Anyway, there's an issue of getting parking on the property, and as you see where he has those rocks circled, as you come in the driveway, it'll be the first circle. That is full of big boulders and a huge oak tree. And half of the oak tree would be on the property line and the other half on the neighbor's property line. And to try to get into the garage and to provide parking for 5 spaces would be really quite difficult. And I don't know how you would get to it, because on the west side of the property, you visited the site, is that correct?
We did.
Did you see the drain coming down the left side of the property?
Yeah.
Okay, that's off the property line, and there's a pretty good stream of water comes through there.
Mhm.
Okay, and I don't know what you would do to get over that to create parking, because you're gonna have to excavate into the hill to get parking. So that was one of the reasons we were asking for the request, is to be able to get the parking in there for 5 cars. My wife wants to live in this house, and I'm not certain that that's what I want to do, but that's what she wants to do, because our property's too big, it's a lot of maintenance, and since we're retired. The other issue is, instead of having a huge house, we tried to make it aesthetically pleasing. The property to, I guess, would be the east side. They've delineated the property line clear to the buffer strip, and I don't know how they did that, because I know you couldn't get permission to do that. It wasn't like that whenever I built the house. The property on the west side, she has delineated the property line with cedars. You really can't see any view towards the water from her house except out the side windows. So my request, I don't think is unreasonable, and if you saw where the yellow flags were near the buffer strip or the buy-down, it's only a few feet difference from where that deck comes out now. That's all I have, if you have any questions. And it's only 2-story, and we have no intentions of putting the 2nd story.
You didn't submit a drawing for the house, did you?
What's that?
You didn't submit a drawing for the house, did you?
Yes, and that's in that
Is it over
packet
here?
that I sent you.
Is it over here? Okay.
Got a rendition of it.
Did I submit an elevation of the house?
If you look to the screen, let me reduce this a little bit to fit.
No.
Some of the floor plans.
So there it is on the screen there. That's basement and 1st floor.
Mhm.
And there's no 2nd floor, you said?
No 2nd floor. Actually, there was a 2nd floor, and we removed it because I thought it was entirely too high and just didn't fit there properly.
Here's the front of the house.
Mhm. You want to see? You got it?
Rotate that.
There won't be any chimney, there'll be a direct vent fireplace, so that'll reduce the height somewhat.
Did you get that survey yet with the boulders on?
I had Steve may have.
You got it? Can I see that survey again? The little one?
One with the boulders. I think that's it there, Steve, yeah.
So the only boulder I see is on the adjoiner's property, looks like. One right on the line there. Is that one right on the line? And then this one's on the adjoiner.
No, here. This is a large boulder,
Up there.
oak tree, and it's all rocks in here.
Oh.
It's a huge boulder. In fact, I think there's 2 or 3 boulders. It must be about 6 foot high, one of them. He just located the outline of it.
I guess I did see that one.
And then there's another rock beyond that in front that's approximately 4 foot long that sticks up about a foot high that I see. It's been ran over by vehicles 2 or 3 times. It's right in the driveway, the corner of that driveway. And that's on the neighbor's property, and you cannot remove it unless he gives authorization, and I think he's reluctant to do anything.
So we're supposed to, we're supposed to hear, your hardship and practical difficulty you're saying is the narrowness of the lot and then the location of the boulders on the property. That's,
Well, the two lot lines, the side line and the front line would be
Mhm.
two, and the parking would be another issue,
Mhm.
to get 5 cars in there.
mhm.
And be able to turn around and get out and not interfere with the stream that comes down the hill.
I mean-
And I didn't discover that until sometime after I purchased the lot.
I mean, 8 feet is all you would need and not need a variance, right? You know,
What's that?
You can go to within 10 feet of the front, so you don't even need to move it back 8 foot, you wouldn't need a variance.
I know.
That
The
would
problem
probably
with the property, and I guess, the lady to the west has no way of accessing her property, because I think she's 5 foot from the property line.
Mhm.
I've already had 2 requests, if they objected to going down my property to work on their house and replace the siding. We measured it, I don't know how I could get 5 cars in there. I'm not interested probably in going 5 cars, but suppose it becomes a rental. And then you have to have 5 cars, 1 for each bedroom, right?
That's what I meant. I mean, I'm having trouble seeing a hardship, I'll just be honest with you. It seems like you have a little bit of maneuvering room there, but that's just me. It's,
I'm not very trying to see what, I can't see anything.
huh?
What is it?
I say, I'm having a little trouble seeing the hardship. It seems like you have room. You only need 8 feet there, and you'd have to move it over a little bit and back a little bit. I'm just having trouble. I'm just being honest with you. I'm having trouble seeing the hardship.
Move the house over?
I see, you need 10 feet here where you're asking for 2. And, so you'd move it back, and that'll get you too close to this line, so it'd end up having to move that way a little bit, I'm assuming.
Yes, but then there's no way to get to the property line with that stream and to be able to get down and service the docks. And the stream coming through there, that's why.
The stream coming down through here.
Yes,
Mhm. So you're afraid to encroach on that stream a little bit more.
yes, that's the issue.
Mhm.
Because I built the house adjoining, and there we discovered a freshwater stream
Mhm.
similar to what's there, and we had to do a ditch and divert the water and do buried, I guess what you would call it, a place like you do the stormwater.
Oh, you got a water quality structure in there?
Yes.
Mhm.
And of course, then there was enough room to divert the water around each side of the house.
Mhm. Gentlemen, any questions for Mr. Umble? Doesn't look like there's anybody in here to speak in opposition, so it's just us. That stream you talked about, Hugh, is it a culvert or is it a stream?
No, it comes out of the hillside. It's buried. It's
Mhm.
buried about 10 or 15 foot from the edge of the road.
Mhm.
And then there's a gravel ditch. It looks like it's a 6-inch drain towel in it. But then I saw when it was raining the other day, it was bubbling up out of the drain towel through the gravel and running down.
Mhm.
So it must be a spring in there.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I could see. I didn't ask anybody about it. I knew I'd have to deal with it.
Gentlemen, any motions? Any questions, any motions? What are you thinking?
In keeping with your comment, Mr. Chairman, about sparingly awarding variances for this, I can't help but think that there are other options to conform within the ordinance to get the structure in here. I certainly hear Mr. Humble's comments about getting 5 vehicles in there, with the limitations that are there, and perhaps that's
He
not.
asking me a question.
No,
No,
we're
I'm just
just-
making a comment on the board.
Have a discussion.
Just discussion. I guess I should say at this point, we'll close the public testimony. We're just talking about it amongst yourselves.
Like I was, when we were out there, I was saying, okay, starting with a clean slate, new house.
Mhm.
Why isn't there latitude in building that new house to accommodate? And as opposed to jumping to the variance.
Understood. Well, again, in the spirit of the ordinance and administering these things sparingly, I feel like you do have some options, Hugh. I'm gonna make a motion to deny it, I'm sorry. All in favor? Anybody else on the motion?
I'll second
I'll
it.
second your motion, Jim.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Thank you. All right.
You can
Any old
shut the
business,
meeting
any old
down.
business to discuss, Bruce?
I have none,
New business?
no, sir.
What is our next meeting?
We will have a meeting in September on the third Thursday. I have one case for you. It's gonna be a variance.
All right. Then till next month, gentlemen, on the third Thursday, I will adjourn till then. Thank you.